10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Johnny Pompous. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Johnny Pompous Show. This is, of course, Johnny Pompous. Now, my guest tonight is from SCCW Wrestling. His name is Adam Gregory. We have him here. He is a 7-time SCCW heavyweight champion and a 1-time SCCW social media champion. Adam, do we have you on?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Not a problem. How you feeling tonight?
Oh, man. It's cold as hell out here. I mean, cold as a witch's titty. I mean, fudge, dude. It is freezing to the bone cold out here. And it was like 60 something or something like that. Earlier this morning or yesterday, it was hot. Like I was sweating, like laying in my bed in pools of sweat, sweating hot that night. And then I wake up today and I'm walking outside like, well, I might need to put some sweats on or something. Jesus.
Yeah, you're
I'm doing
you're in the Ohio area, aren't you?
Oh no, man. I'm in Arkansas, bro. I'm in Arkansas.
Arkansas. Why did I think you were in Ohio?
I have no idea. Frank's from Ohio.
I,
Maybe,
th- I
maybe that was,
Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Yeah, so Arkansas. Okay.
yeah, man. The natural state, the Diamond State. Woo! From City, Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Hey, there you go.
That's it, man. Represent all day.
All right. Well, Adam, let's go ahead and just kind of dive right in here. I want to go ahead
Sure.
and apologize to everybody who was expecting this to happen last night. Was experiencing a lot of technical difficulties on my end. Do apologize, but it has been corrected, so it's all good. Adam, I guess the first question I want to ask is how long have you been in wrestling?
Oh shoot, man. I've been in the backyard scene for 15 years. I've been I've been in the backyard scene for 15 years, off and on, Started in '07. Um, Actually, no joke, started in this very organization. It had a different name. Like the name's changed 3 different times, I think, since inception, I guess, since the start, since I jumped on board whenever it was nothing but like me and my brother and 2 other guys that I hold really close to me in high regard. And man, it's been crazy. I've been doing this for 15 years on mattresses, on trampolines, on the hardwood, which is just I think like a 1/4 inch of padding and a 1/4 inch plywood. So it's like those bumps hurt real bad, like every time you fall on them. In the most recent time period, but I've gone through a whole bunch of different things, been hit with a bunch of different weapons and stuff, frying pans, uh, aluminum shelves, chairs, whatever it is. I mean, I've never done any deathmatch wrestling. Not saying I want to, because I definitely don't want to, but it's just not my jam. You know what I mean? Some people it is. It's just not me. I like wrestling for the story. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And man, I gotta say, I've been hit with a lot of things, but I can't remember a time I was hit with a metal shelf. That's unique.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it was a different time. We had, I think, 16 mattresses out in the Buzzsaw Arena, as we affectionately called it, because the mattresses, there was like four, uh, like two layers of 4 mattresses, I guess, and then on the corners, in like this awesome weird buzzsaw pattern, was twin size mattresses doubled up on each other. So if we had a tag team match or something, the tag team partner would stand on one of those twin size mattresses, while the other two are duking it out, and they'd have a platform to be on instead of having ropes or something. You have to stay on that mattress because we didn't have a ring, we didn't have ropes or a ring or anything like that. So
Right.
it was something unique and something different, for sure. We had that, and then they just like had a bunch of stuff in a trash can. Like I said, there's crutches in there. I remember being in there. There was like what are axe handles? I guess not the wooden ones, but like the big yellow axe handles.
I
Uh,
know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
uh, I mean, baseball bats. There was all kinds of stuff, and strewn around the area we were working with. There was like old rusted bikes and stuff like that, box springs. There was all kinds of stuff out where we were at in the early days and stuff. But man, it's where we carved out our niche, our name for ourselves. It's where we figured out who we were, as competitors and stuff. And man, it was something that really helped harden the skin and make it where uh, you could really go through the bumps and the bruises later on through the years because you've already gone through this harder stuff back whenever. Gosh, I'm 32 now, so going back then, I was 17. I mean, I was a kid, dude. And I was out there just throwing down as much as I could, as hard as I could, getting hit with crap as much as possible, getting trying to hit people as much as possible and just take them down. It was like the Wild West back then, man, and it was a different animal completely than it is now.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Delving and stuff, though, like I said, it was just all scattered on the outside by this like school desk that was at ringside. And you just go over there and grab something, man. A lot of the times there's that. There's big bamboo poles that people hit people and stuff. Sticks. Literally just like a 10-foot bamboo pole. So you could stand way far away and like swing it at people and stuff. It was weird, like a Bowie staff or something.
Okay. Man, I gotta say, like, truthfully, 'cause what you're talking about, like your backyard days in the beginning, it sounds a lot like, everybody knows I did backyard, starting out, and like the way you described your setup, man, is very very similar to ours. We definitely had a big metal trash can full of weapons and whatnot. We had chairs in there, light tubes, street signs, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as far as setup goes, as far as entranceway or anything like that, man, it was just a giant tarp that said CKW Wrestling. Red and yellow, had a big slit down the middle, and we'd walk through it. And then there was road cones down on the side with another tarp on the ground, that we'd walk on like an entranceway or an entrance ramp or something. And it was so different because there was no form to it. There was no it was just get out there and do it. You know what I mean? It was like go go go, and it was wild because even coming back the two or three times that I've came back since, like anytime the doors were open, I've been here. I've been being and chomping at the bit to try to get in the ring. You know what I mean? And or to get on trampoline or get on some mattresses or out on the hardwood like I am now. I've been I'm like a fade for wrestling, so I want to get out there and I want to do it.
Right.
I want
No,
to get out there
absolutely.
time. And so '09, I think they said, all right, we're closing down shop. Y'all, I don't know. There may be opportunities somewhere else for y'all to wrestle. There may not be, but all I can say for the at the time CKW is we're no longer open. So I was like very bummed out, and then they tried coming back, rebranded as the CWA, like in 2012 or something like that. And it lasted for about a year and a half, and then they left again, or they shut down again to rebrand, or to redo something. I don't know what the heck they were doing, man. To be honest, I just know from my end, it was just very confusing because they said stop, start, start, stop, but I never stopped coming back because they always gave me opportunities whenever I did come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I've always
absolutely.
but I've always had a, even if I didn't win, even if I was the loudest voice out there and nobody, heard me saying anything, basically, they still were like, look. I got. You're just gonna have to wait your turn now. You know what I'm saying? You have to wait. You have to wait because you haven't won. You're gonna have to wait because you haven't been here doing as good as this guy or whatever. You know, they give you the SCCW is always giving me reasons for whatever they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It,
absolutely. I get that.
it may not be something I want to hear at the end of the day, but they do good business, and they always have. Whenever they the only thing that I haven't liked is the stop start stuff that's happened for years with it. But it hasn't been like that over the past 3 years, and man, over the past 3 years, it's been just one uphill after another for us, just climbing up that mountain. But 15 years, I didn't even think about it until I said it just a second ago. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
that's
crazy.
that's quite a while. So, how did you get into wrestling? Like, what was it that kind of attracted you to it?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just something that I did with my dad and my uncle. My brother, who's a competitor with us, the Flying Hawaiian. Me, my brother, my dad, and my dad would sit down and watch Raw and Nitro when he flipped back and forth between the two of them on during the Monday Night Wars. Man, WCW, WWF, flip back, forth, click, click, click commercials, and I saw some of the greatest athletes in WCW, man. And my uncle, who lives in Jonesboro, Northeast Arkansas, we live in Central Arkansas, but my uncle, who lives in Northeast Arkansas, he passed away a couple of years back. Big inspiration in my life, but
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, man, it sucked. It hit me really, really bad. And I don't know that I've really even, if I'm being honest, dealt with it the way I should. I've just kind of thrown myself back into the wrestling game and gone harder into it, uh, and learning as much as I can, you know. But uh, he uh, he gave me a bunch of VHSs. You remember those things, the big rectangular VHS things? You know what I'm talking
I,
about?
s- oh, I still have a VCR. Absolutely.
He gave me um like the he gave me a because Stone Cold said so one white case, skull on the front. He gave me a ECW Revolution VHS. Man, he's given me like four, five, six different VHSs over the years. Whenever I was younger, and I kept up with them for years. I probably still have them in storage right now, but uh, apart from that, man, he got me into doing to really being myself in a sense because you know a lot of people, and it's not any secret. A lot of people don't want to look at that quotation marks fake wrestling crap. I don't want to watch that. It's all fake, anyways. That whole spiel, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people. I feel like that if you like wrestling, you don't really. You're a closet wrestling fan. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh no, I don't like that stuff neither, man. But at home, you're like AEW baby. Uh, and it's like I never had that because my uncle and my dad kind of brought me up in it at a young age, and I never felt anything wrong with it. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
absolutely not.
It's it's something that when I was, you fall in and out of things, and I did fall in and out of wrestling, and not talking about through the times that the company shut down, but just life. I was into skateboarding for like hard for like a half a year to a year, I'll tell you, and then I was into all kinds of other crap that was uh, not necessarily big or little. It was just things, you know what I'm saying? You change as you grow. But one constant that I tried to keep at least a little bit of my life was wrestling because of that relationship with my dad and my uncle. My dad, 58 today, we still sit in the living room and watch wrestling whenever I'm able to be around him. Me and my dad and my brother will all do it. We've done it since since me and my wife and kids have been uh, coming up and visiting my parents more and hanging out with them a lot more. We're able to watch wrestling with them and do stuff with my dad and my brother more. It's kind of building a little bit more of a bond that we kind of lost a little bit over the past little while. But wrestling's always been there for me since then, and every chance I could get, man, I've always been asking questions or trying to watch behind the scenes things, or there's all kinds of really good YouTube channels that you can watch, like Cultaholic or like What Culture News or Wrestle Talk. They're all really good about giving you up to date information on pretty much anything in the wrestling world if it happens on the day. And I've been finding myself recently, anyways, watching a lot more of that, as well as going to pro wrestling training. I've gone to about, I'd say collectively, 3 months of training, maybe.
Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic.
and I've just started going back, but I've gone to the past 2 weeks, and I'm not going to stop going. It's going Tuesdays, 6 to 8, and it's really awesome, man. I'm learning a lot of things that I really have been wanting to learn for a while, but just never knew how to do it because you don't have a teacher, you don't have a window or a way. You're not able to do it. But
Yeah, absolutely.
if you got that outlet, and if you can look it up and find out that there's outlets around you, man, jump on that opportunity, no matter what it is. And look, I'm not saying anybody will be able to get in there and do it, because it takes something special like me to be able to get in there and do it. You know what I mean? I'm like the top level of the top level. You know what I'm saying? So I get out there and I put out work. I put in work every single day that I'm in there doing it. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't try it. Everything you want to do, anybody, get out there and do it, because you're the only one that can. You know what I mean? You're the only one that controls your life. But get out there and try things. Get out there and do stuff and take some chances. Because at the end of the day, man, you don't do that, you're gonna live with what ifs and a bunch of questions, and that's just not something anybody would want, man. At the end of the day, regret's not something you need. So, uh, what made me fall in love with wrestling was the stories, was the action, and two individuals really piqued my interest. And those two was in '96 and '97, I believe, had a huge feud. And that's the Macho Man Randy Savage and Diamond Dallas Page. Those two guys, their storytelling back then, and those knockdown, drag out fights, man. Those elaborate promo setups, even whenever it was just a normal promo, whenever they were standing in the ring and DDP be cutting a promo and being all like, Macho Man, I know it's you. I saw you. You came out here and you attacked me and your goons, the NWO, did before I could get you. And the Macho Man would run in the ring and he'd attack and he'd be like, Diamond Dallas Page, oh yeah, you're gonna crown it Slamboree. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, dude, how do these guys get their character so good? How do they how do they grab the audience? And how do they pull me in? How do they do that? I want to do that. So that feud's really what I think really piqued and tipped me into being a wrestling fan, other than just being a wrestling observer, because you have people that watch wrestling just to watch it, but then you got wrestling fans, and then you got a whole nother level, which is called wrestling marks. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to call myself a mark, because I may be. I mean, hell, I don't know. It's a big, huge fan, but I ain't got the money for them to mark my arm with chalk. So you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's in a really gigantic nutshell what kind of piqued my interest in wrestling and how I kind of got into it.
Well, I gotta say, man, like within that story, you gave a lot of good advice as well. So everybody listening out there and like aspiring to become a wrestler, he did give out some really good advice. If it's something that you want to do, I mean, you really have to go for it because no one's going to do it for you. And secondly, you got to give it your best. You got to have the passion for it. It's not something for everybody, not something everybody can do. But if you've got the passion for it and you've got the motivation, you can make it. You really can. Um, you said that you've been mainly off and on for about 15 years now. That's quite a long time. So I got to ask, 'cause that's like I said, that's an awful long time. Have there been any like notable injuries from the wrestling within that time?
No, I've been blessed, man. I if I have something wooden in here, I can knock on. Gosh darn it! I don't have anything wood in this truck that I can knock on. But knock on wood, no, I've never been injured a day in my life as far as physically broken bones, anything like that. I've never actually been physically injured a day in my life. Thank God.
That is awesome.
So
Hopefully that keeps up.
don't have any stories about that, but I can tell you a story about somebody in my that was on the roster years ago, and it was me and my brother and my friend Cameron. Well, be wired. I just inducted him into our Hall of Honor at Slam Down this past, like at the beginning of this month, whenever the biggest event of the year happened. But I inducted him into the Hall of Honor this year. He was there, and I was there, and we had a match earlier. And then main event was supposed to be my cousin Easy Slick and my brother Flying Hawaiian. And they went out there and they just had a fight, dude. And I knew something was up because my brother kept throwing the enziguri, man. He'd step up on the knee and then he'd throw that leg over, kick him straight in the back of the head. And Easy didn't move. Easy didn't do nothing. He just kind of staggered for a second, and then he did it again and again, again and again. He hit him 13. I counted 13 times in a row with an enziguri to the back of the head. Finally, Easy Slick fell down, and he's tried to get back up and just threw up everywhere. We were like, "Oh man, this is terrifying." So concussions are real.
Oh
Just
yeah.
saying, get your training if you're gonna do it. That's number one. Get your training if you're gonna do it. You know what I mean? No one needs to get hurt, and the most important thing you can do is to help yourself and to help everybody else get training. If you're an aspiring wrestler, that is.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. That's crazy. Um,
That was really crazy. I was like, "Whoa! Do we need to call an ambulance or something?" And they're like, "No, no, it's fine, it's fine." I was just like, "Okay," so we just let it go, I guess.
well, talking about like
Sorry, man.
crazy situation. No, no, no. Crazy situations in the yard, because I know you said you've done that for the last 15 years. And then you were talking about how, say, do I need to call an ambulance? That brings me to another question because this actually happened to us a couple times, when we did backyard back in the day. Have you guys ever had the police show up like in the middle of a show?
Well, that's another thing, man. That's weird because we're kind of isolated in that sense, and we always have been. Well, as long as I've been with the SCCW, it's the only company that I've chose to wrestle for and to come back to in and out. But we're isolated, and what I mean by that is we're like in a bubble. We film our matches closed off. It's not in an open environment where everybody can see it. It's not like we even advertise for people to come out and see our stuff. I have been hearing rumblings about some sort of a live show possibility later on in the year, maybe, but there's no confirmation on that to me, to my knowledge, anyways. But we've never actually had live shows apart from here and there. Whenever we've had groups of our own guys standing behind a barricade, or we performed and had all the kids at my oldest daughter's birthday party sit down at ringside and watch us have a match and stuff like that. But we haven't performed live in front of crowds or anything like that yet, so we haven't had that uh, the uh, the chance to have a cop called on us yet. Luckily,
Okay.
so like it's kind of we're isolated, cut off in a bubble. Every time we film, it's like everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows what we're doing because we've made sure we go up and talk to them, be like, "Hey, I'm Adam Gregory. We're gonna be doing some wrestling over here. Just to let y'all know, don't call the cops on us. We try to go out and do that beforehand. That way, we can get training in beforehand. Do our pre-match stuff that we got to do before the match actually begins. Get stretched out and everything like that. Uh, but yeah, man, it's never happened. Thankfully, I'm very thankful that we have not had the cops called on us at all.
Oh yeah.
It's a very it's a very good thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely do. So 15 years is, like I said, I hate to keep going over this, but it's quite a while. Um, and you're still going, which is fantastic. You know, a lot of people, hit the
Always.
10-year mark and they're just like, man, now I'm good. Especially doing a backyard, time does takes its unfortunate toll. Um, what do you feel like has been your greatest accomplishment in wrestling so far, or do you feel like you've hit that yet?
I don't know. That's a damn good question. No one's ever asked that. Um, but my greatest accomplishment, I guess, at the moment would be um, being the only guy to hold all the championships that we've ever had in the company's history. Because I have been there since the beginning. There was a plethora of different championships that I can't even remember the names to that came and left over the years. That I've been able to have the privilege of having matches for and get my hands on. And there's never been like a uh, a championship that I didn't want to try to go after. I love holding gold. I
Oh yeah,
love it being
absolutely.
I love it being on my shoulder. And right now I'm 10 pounds lighter than I should be. But that's neither here nor there. I think another one of my another greatest accomplishment. Man, I know you didn't ask, but another one of my greatest accomplishments is creating the current world champion. I would say in the SCCW, Jeremy Lewis. I made him. All right, if we're being honest, I made that guy. He came in as a lowly commissioner, a authority figure brought in by the company way back in 2014, and I told him he wasn't going to make it as that. Guess what? He didn't. He flaked out. He didn't make it as an authority figure. He didn't make it as a guy in charge, the man in the chair. He didn't do it. And I told
Man,
him he went because he's soft. Because he's soft and he let his talent walk all over him. Guess what happened? He was soft. He let the talent walk all over him, and he was out the door quicker than a hiccup. He was gone.
yeah,
And then
it'll
he
happen.
came back in 2017, man. After he came back in 2017, me and him talked, and we screwed Hayden out of the world championship. Hardcore Hayden, a guy that was here and there, gone real quick, just like all the other stuff that I just said. Um, but yeah, man, this uh, after I battled for the world championship all of 2019 to 2020 with Wayne McNeil, and finally won at Fever Pitch at the first ever episode of SCCW Fever Pitch. Finally reclaimed the world championship as my own. Um, the next episode of the Backstage Assault show that we had, he comes out and says that he needs to take some time to himself so he can prove that he deserves to stand next to me. At all, man. I really didn't because I handpicked you to come and stand next to me. Why don't you think you deserve to? If I picked you, you should deserve to stand there with me. Why are
Oh
you
yeah,
thinking otherwise? Why are you thinking that I don't think you should stand next to me? Why do you think you're not worth it, man? So I tried to let it go. I tried to shrug it off. I tried to call him a couple times, and he was always busy with matches he was gonna have or whatever, and he didn't ever answer the couple different times that I tried to call him. And then he had a match and I had a match at Scars and Stripes, and I lost my match in the main event, champion versus champion. I lost to Marcus Woods, the social media champion at the time. Actually, currently he's the social media champion as well. He just beat the Gremlin, but they had a pretty good match. I got to see a little bit of that before my match, but anyway, neither here nor there. I lost to Marcus Woods. He came out to the ring. I don't know why he hadn't been there all these. It had been months and months, man. I won the championship from the undisputed because Wayne McNeil had the world championship for a long time. He was away for a long time, so the title was stripped of him, but he was still carrying his world championship, saying he was never beaten for it. Then I beat him. I was the undisputed world champion. From that point on, March to like June, I didn't see or hear from uh, from Jeremy Lewis. That's 3 whole months. He didn't talk to me, didn't do nothing with me, didn't come out support me in my wins, losses, nothing. Then he had the audacity to come out and try to support me and be there for me, as he said, whenever I lost in a champion versus champion match. Now I kicked him square in his freaking jaw, man.
Oh man.
That guy, he beat me fair and square, and I hate to say that, but he did. He beat me at slam down. That's why I'm 10 pounds lighter on my shoulder. That's why I'm 10 pounds lighter around the waist.
I hate that feeling. I have always hated that feeling when you know that that belongs to you and it's not with you currently.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's it's enough. It's enough to make me. I've been physically sick for the past couple of days. For the first couple of days, I mean, after I was physically sick with myself, I was dry heaving. I was just nauseous all the time. It was horrible. Uh, and then I got the realization that look, you are going to get a rematch. You are going to get that championship back. He is not holding it forever. I brought him in. I held him under my wing. I carried him all the way until I super kicked him. And I made him the star he is right now by kicking him in his jaw. I
Oh
put him at the level of Adam Gregory. All right. I evened the playing field. I made sure he was on my level so he knew, hey, I believe in you this much. But he didn't get it. He didn't understand enough to be like, okay, all right, after I beat him, after I kicked him, I beat him in a match. No disqualifications. I beat him. That wasn't enough. He wanted it again. it's
man.
it's a lot, man. But I'd say my biggest accomplishments holding every championship, being one of the longest veterans in the company, and obviously creating the current world champion Jeremy Lewis. I made that guy.
Well, I mean, that's something to be proud of. Honestly, like whenever you are solely responsible for a talent, kind of breaking out and and being recognized, and you're responsible for that. It's a damn good feeling. As long as they
Yeah.
don't get too cocky and forget where they came from.
Oh, he'll tell you. I'm sure he'll tell you that he put in the hours and he did this and that. That I didn't have anything to do with his training. I'm sure he'd say something like that. The guy. Look, for as much as he tries to be this charitable, happy-go-lucky guy, this guy, man of the people, the guy, the guy has got a head on his shoulders, all about himself. I don't know how he couldn't say I didn't help him along the way. I don't know how he couldn't say that I didn't show him, tutor him in the ways of professional wrestling,
Right,
and show him the correct way to do a promo, or show him the correct way to get into a wrist lock or a hammer lock, or whatever it may be. I don't know how he can say I didn't guide him through the backstage areas of where to go, where not to go, what to do in certain situations. That's arrogance on his part, saying that he did that on his own.
right.
He's. I just don't understand people like that, man. It doesn't make any sense. How can you be? How can you? I don't get it.
No,
I don't.
no, I'm the same way, man. Like if somebody takes the time and they work with you and they help develop you into who you are, at least give them credit, at the very least. But then there's
Yeah,
also those guys, man, that do try to do the whole. Well, I taught you everything you know, and you're like, dude, I already had this. You gave me
yeah,
some tips here and there. So you got those guys too.
yeah.
But I mean, like
See,
when you spend the time,
yeah, yeah. I see. I came into wrestling in 2007, man. The first time he stepped foot in the SCCW's doors was 2012. So that's 5 years after I'd already been running this show throughout the backyards here in the SCCW. I've been there for 5 years at this point. So the guy comes in here and he tries pushing me around first thing as the commissioner, just throwing his weight around because he is 6'2" and he is 265 pounds, which I am going to tell you right now, it's not all muscle. So, just to get that out of the way, it's not all muscle. The
right?
guy comes in here and he comes in here and he grabs me by the shirt and whatnot, and I reported him. That's why, Jeremy, if you're listening, that's why you lost your position as a commissioner. It's not just you were inferior at the position, it's because you grabbed me and I reported your ass. Because you don't grab talent if you're management, you dummy. You don't do it. And you made a bad mistake. I just took advantage of your mistake. Just telling you. But he tried doing that back then. And then he came back, and me and him had a good arrangement. We were going by the name The Elite, and then we realized that's stupid. We can't do that because there's only one Elite, and they're in the big time. So uh, we changed our name. We were Team Superstar, man, and we had some really good years going against McNeil Enterprises in 2019, 2020 area, just battling back and forth, not really having tag matches, but me and him
Oh,
going against one or the other guys in singles competitions. We had one tag team match, and I don't think we won that one. I think it was all in the rain, and it was nasty and messy and stuff. It was crazy, but we had
Adam,
some really good times.
we actually have somebody calling in, and generally this doesn't happen on the show, and I have decided that if it ever does happen, I'll check with the guests just to see if it's okay. You okay to take a call in?
Yeah, man, that sounds great. That's awesome.
All right, one moment. All right, who do we got? Who we got on? Hello?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. I know that voice.
You recognize the voice?
I recognize the voice. That sounds like a chameleon.
That's who it is.
Well, chameleon, I'm actually doing a show with Adam Gregory from SCCW. Currently, he's been in the backyard for 16 years. Currently working on professional training. He just announced a little bit ago.
Oh, okay.
Hey, how's it going, man?
So how's it going? How you doing? I'm Chameleon. I've been a professional wrestler for 16 years. How you doing?
Right, man. How's it been for you?
And, man, it's been rough. I mean, I'm on a neck injury. It's getting better, and I lost weight April 9th.
Dang, man. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, it's not the only injury. I've had plenty. So what do you do? I mean, harder. So I mean, like, and what was it? 15 years. I had type of injuries.
Chameleon, I don't know if I speak for everybody, but your mic was breaking up.
I'm not hearing much. I was trying to listen to see if it came back in.
Oh, no, I said in 15 years of doing backyard, have you got any injuries?
No, sir. I've been blessed by I've legitimately had my entire life as far as bodily injuries. If I had to knock on wood at the moment, I would. Kind of hanging out.
All right, you're breaking out. I was breaking up there a little bit, but that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it seems like we've got a bad connection going on. I don't know entirely why that's happening. No, Chameleon, I was actually just getting ready to ask Mr. Gregory here if he's got any rivalries going on. Adam, do you have any rivalries going on right now? You got any beef with anybody ongoing?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that rant made. It's on. The partner with that guy. I was a partner with him from 2017 until this past July. And I kicked him in his jaw. And when I kicked him in his jaw, I felt such relief. I felt such a weight off my shoulders, like I was carrying him this whole time. And it was such a crazy thing because, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got to carry your own weight in the wrestling business. You know what I mean? You got to carry yourself. You got to bring yourself up from the ground. You got to pick yourself up, dust yourself up, and keep going. But I was carrying 265 pounds of dead weight on my shoulders for much of that time, and I kicked him, and man, it was like a release. And then he wanted to ask why. So I had to explain over and over again what I just pretty much explained to you, of how I did it for him. I kicked him to put him on that main event level. I told him, you're welcome, man. You should be thanking me,
Yeah.
because he should. I mean, I've been working my ass off. I was working my ass off to keep our team together. Um, all the way up until that point. I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to hang out with him. I wanted him to be by my side. Where was he? He wasn't there for my world championship match. Where was he? Whenever I won the undisputed title from Wayne McNeil, wasn't there. Where was he? What about the other matches that I had in between that match and my match with Marcus Woods, where Woods won at Scars and Stripes? Where was he any of those times? I mean, where'd you go? Why weren't you at least in my corner? If you call yourself really a friend and was really questioning why I would do what I did to you, start questioning yourself, man. Why did you not be there for me? Why weren't you there for me at any point? Why weren't you coming, being in my corner? Why weren't you just walking out, entering with me, and then going backstage afterwards? Anything. You weren't there, bro. And now where are you? Now you're sitting at the top of the card with a title that doesn't belong to you. With a championship that doesn't belong to you. You're a champion in words only, Jeremy, because man, you have not defended that title one time. You're a champion in words. You have the belt, sure. You have a big, shiny, heavy 10-pound piece of leather and beautiful gold. Until you defend that championship, until you can show that you're worth holding that championship, you're nothing more than a champion in word, man. And I am
Yeah.
coming. We'll get that title back. I guarantee that.
So I guess that brings me to my next question. So when is the next SCCW event? Like what's upcoming?
Um, like I said, I'm not entirely positive on that. They kind of just give it to us a month at a time and let us know, and we go from there, because a lot of people have got schedules that vary, and they got to put in advance and this and that, as
Right.
far as because none of us are doing this full time ATM at the moment. We're all just doing it as we can, basically. You know what I'm saying? And it's been something that's been a really cool experience and stuff. But most months, what happens is the beginning of the month will roll around and they'll shoot you a message of what's happened. But since the last month, I think what's probably happened last year or the year before. I think they ended up explaining it afterwards, was that, like, because we were supposed to have Slam Down 2, the biggest event of the year, in January at the end of the month, and then have another event at the end of this month, but ended up, I guess, having it at the beginning of this month. So what they may end up doing is not giving anything for the rest of the month, and then next month getting us something at the beginning of the month, letting us know, hey, we're going to have a show uh, on this day later on in the month or something like that. Usually it's at the beginning of each month, though, and we haven't gotten anything yet. It's almost halfway through the month, so I assume that's what's happening. Like I said, it's happened once or twice before, not many times. They're usually really professional about all this stuff, so just kind of up in the air. But I do know that whoever or whatever matches are made up, it's going to be great, man. We got a good roster. I'm not gonna say great because none of them are amazing. There's a couple that are, and I saw that we also have signed some new people from West Texas and Houma, Louisiana. A guy calls himself Bojo, I think, and then from Louisiana, and then another guy, the outlaw Tejano, I think's what his name was, or something like that. I was trying to remember. I didn't write it down. I should have written it down. But we got some new athletes coming in that I've never met. I've never got to see, so I would love to test my skills against them. We've
So
got
that's always
yeah, Wayne McNeil's injured, so can't go against him anytime soon. Don't know what's up with that guy. But yeah, man, I don't know exactly. If I knew, I would tell you right now, right here now. But yeah, man, I really love wrestling, man. Wrestling is something that helps me so much because I've got anxiety disorder. I've got depression. I've got all kinds of mental health issues that really are debilitating a lot of the times. And wrestling's a really good outlet for me that helps me stay calm and helps me relieve a lot of tension and a lot of stress. And helps me be creative and get the creative juices flowing in my head to kind of escape for a little bit of the the real world, I guess is what you would say. But um, and it's something that really helps a lot for me. But it's weird that I'm doing PSA sort of stuff. I don't want to do any PSA sort of stuff, but it's coming natural to me. So what the hell? Um, basically, it's my stress relief. It's my anxiety relief. It's something that helps me in the grander scheme of my life, in the grander scheme of, you know, uh, life in general for me and people around me. Because it helps me not be so stressed, not be so angry, short tempered, whatever it may be. But it doesn't have to be wrestling. And I'm not saying for me, I'm just going into a thing real quick because I feel like you're rapping right now. But, um, you know, mental health issues is something that a lot of people take for granted and stuff. And I don't want that to be something that I go without saying something about because like I said, I got a lot of them, well, not a lot. And it's not about how many you got and it's not about what you got. They're all equally as devastating in their own ways. But basically, if you feel like something's going on in your life, if you feel like something's going on in your head, in your mind, and you're not thinking correctly, or you don't feel like yourself, or you don't feel like something's going on correctly, you're not thinking straight, whatever it may be, you need to go and you need to talk to someone about it because at the end of the day, you're responsible. Just like with taking chances, like we were saying earlier, you're responsible for you. You're the only one that can help yourself in any situation because you're the only one that knows your thoughts and your feelings and stuff. And there is people out there care. There is people out there that'll listen no matter how dark the day feels, no matter how no light at the end of the tunnel, no silver lining. It feels like there is. There always is a silver lining, and there always is a light at the end of the tunnel. You can always get out of whatever you're in. You just need to uh, realize that, hey, I can't do this on my own. I got to have somebody help me out with this because I've tried everything in my power, in my mind, that I can on my own. You got to go and talk to somebody. You got to go and seek actual professional help. And man, let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with going to therapy. I go every week if possible. And it's not because I'm a nutcase. It's not because I'm a loon or a crazy person, man. And I think that's a bad term, crazy, because everybody's crazy in their own way. But it's not because of any of those reasons. It's because your mental health should be the most important thing to you. If you're not feeling right, if you're not feeling good, go and talk to somebody, get yourself some help. They can help you out. Talk to some friends and shoot. If you need to, look me up on Facebook. Freaking Adam Gregory. Just look up my picture. It's a black background with a white AG simply over the top and the best underneath it and kind of a weird cursive writing. Look it up. It's a page. It's not an account. It's like a group page, whatever you want to call it, a fan page. Go check it out. Message me. I will respond to you. I will talk to you. I'll give you advice to the best of my ability. I'm not a trained professional by any means, but I have gone through some stuff and I do have experiences with some stuff. that's kind of heavy. So I mean, if you feel like you want to talk, message me and I'll message you back as much as I can or as to the best of my ability to let you know somebody is there for you. Somebody will care. I look. I've had those days whenever it felt like I was nothing, whenever I felt like I was as big as a grain of salt or sand, whatever you want to call it, and you know, I felt alone really, and that's the scariest thing because when you feel alone, you feel isolated. That's when you start feeling worthless, and when you start feeling worthless, that's signs leading to something that nobody needs in their family's life, and that's a loved one gone. Um, it's a slippery slope, and it goes really fast. And I know uh, I've dealt with a lot of my own stuff, and I'm dealing with it currently. But one thing I can say is, through all of this, you cannot give up. You cannot not listen to yourself. You have to listen to what you're telling yourself. So if I'm saying this is a bad situation, I can't say no, it's not, and just stay there. If my brain and my body's telling me, hey, this isn't good, I have to do something, I need to get out of here. You need to get yourself to a safe area, mentally, physically, doesn't matter. Um, I feel like a lot of times people are afraid to look stupid or to look bad or to look uh, because of a mental disorder or because of the way they feel or they're anxious or nervous or whatever. I think people are very worried about that, and you shouldn't be worried about what other people think. At the end of the day, you got to be you. You got to be happy being you, and you got to be you your whole life. So you need to be happy in that skin that you're in. You know what I'm saying? No one can
I do.
make you happy but you. You have to make yourself happy before you can help make anybody else happy, and that's some stuff that I've learned through therapy, as well as you can't live life afraid. Will Smith said it best when he said, "Everything you want is on the other side of fear," and what that means is the scariest thing is right before you're doing something. So if I'm going to go and perform for the first time live, for example, at some point, that's scary until I get there and until I do it. You know what I mean? Because once you're doing it, you're like, what was I so afraid of to begin with? You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you live by fear, if you live by being afraid of, if you live being afraid of everything, if you live by not taking chances or betting on yourself, knowing that you can do things, knowing that you have talents and skills, or knowing that you have a drive or a belief or a dream to do something, and you don't go after it, you're always going to live with that what if with that. Well, I may have been this or I may have done that, and that's not something anybody should ever live with. You got to take those chances. You got to live your life. You got to be happy for you before you can help anybody else or be happy for anybody else. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
absolutely.
get your help if you need help. I'm sorry about rambling about all that, guys.
No, Adam, I want to appreciate you and thank you for talking about that. Mental health is a very serious thing. It's very important. So,
Yeah, man, I deal with it all the time, and it's something I think I'm gonna if I get invited onto any other podcast that I'm gonna try to talk about as well because I think mental health awareness is something that's very big that people just go, oh, they're just upset, oh, they're just mad, oh, they're just this. No, they're a lot more than that. They just they either don't want to deal with it or they don't know how to deal with it. And if you don't know how to deal with it, there are trained professionals that can help you learn to deal with it. Whether they care about you or your money, it doesn't matter. They can help you. If they can help you figure out a way to help yourself, isn't that the most important thing at the end of the day?
oh,
Like
absolutely.
if I don't go to the doctor or if I don't go to my therapist, because I haven't gone in like 3 weeks. At this point, I haven't gone in like 3 weeks, and it's not for lack of trying. I've called a couple of times, and there was a day whenever it snowed a couple of weeks back or something, and we didn't want to get out on the roads too much, so um, we we didn't go and do that. I tried rescheduling, didn't have anything available, so I called today and I got me an appointment for Wednesday. So I'll be going back to therapy on Wednesday. But if I don't go to therapy and it's a continuous thing, then I'm not going to be able to practice the tools that my therapist gives me to deal with anxiety, to deal with stress, to deal with uh, anything, depression, any of it. You know what I mean? He gives you your therapist, he, she, whatever, will give you tools to use in everyday life to help you learn to cope with anxiety or stress or depression. It won't get rid of it, but it'll help you deal with it. It'll help you move past or move through it, not past it. Because at the end of the day, you want to go through it. You want to deal with it. You don't want to walk around the problem and leave it there because it's still there. You got to go through the problem. You got to deal with the issues at hand. And if you don't, then, like I said, you're going to have that gigantic problem that's still there that could just build up over time and be a gigantic problem after a while. So deal with the problems, walk through them, don't walk around them.
Absolutely.
Anyways, yeah, man, it's just very important that people know that they're not alone and that everybody deals with stuff. And if, like I said, if there's any of your listeners that deal with anything like that, man, uh, guys, y'all can shoot me a line at the Adam Gregory page if you'd like. Um, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I don't have the exact name for my page. I can't remember what it is. Like the tag or whatever the heck it's called. I can't remember. I don't have that. The username at whatever. So, but I would give that if I did. But yeah, just look it up. Like I said, black picture. It's not an actual picture. It's just black background. AG and big AG in the middle. Simply on the top and the best on the bottom. And that's in white writing. And it's kind of cursive-y looking or whatever. If you guys wanted to talk about anything, if you needed to message me or wanted to message me, if you just wanted to talk, hit me up. I will chat all day with you. If I can. It's not a big deal. You know, I'm a family man. Like I said earlier, I got a wife and 2 kids, and the most important thing to me is making sure my kids are safe and happy and everything like that, and making sure that I'm mentally well. My wife and I, we get along just like any other couple do. You know, we all do stuff together. We go into town and we hang out. We go out to eat and do stuff. But we all get on each other's nerves too, so you need that outlet. That's also where therapy comes in to help a lot and just vent to somebody who has no clue. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, man, um, very excited about the potential future for the SCCW. And like I said, I hope that we can have an actual live show at some point. There's been, I don't know, rumblings is all I can say. I've heard people when I've asked about when the next, like when I'm getting, like I messaged after Slamdown, I was like, do we know when we're getting the next? And there's somebody talking, and when I was calling them, there's someone talking, they're like, no, it's a live show. And I was like, is this a live show? So I don't know if that's a leak or not, but hey, if it is, it is. Sorry. Uh, I was asking, they didn't have any word on the next show for us, but I did hear somebody say the words live show in the background. So I don't know if they were talking what they were talking about. But
I
hopefully
mean,
it's something a live show.
yeah, that would be exciting. For sure.
Yeah. If you wanted to get me back on here, if you wanted to get me back on here at any point and talk, man, I'd love to come back on and chat about anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're definitely more than welcome to always return. I think my next kind of close. Well, I had 2 questions left.
Yeah.
First one, definitely.
I was actually trying to end it all there. I was like, whoa, that's why I was giving that long spiel.
Oh, I gotcha.
Apart from that,
No,
it's
yeah, no. So where can everybody find some SCCW content? Like, do you have a YouTube? Do you have a Facebook?
we have a Facebook and we have a YouTube. The YouTube channel, just you got to look up SCCW Wrestling, and it'll be the red logo. It's 2 bars that are red, and then SCCW in this kind of blocky writing. I don't know how to explain it. But if you go to YouTube or Facebook, it'll be the same exact logo. And I believe it's SCCW, facebook.com/SCCW official. I believe is what the SCCW's Facebook page is. So
Okay.
you go on Facebook. Most of the time on Facebook, you'll get updates. You'll get you'll get picture updates. It looks like they'll put links to any of our stuff that we're doing on here. I'm sure this will get a link at some point somehow. Um, and any shows we do on YouTube gets linked to the Facebook page and stuff like that. But yeah, I believe those are the two pages. You got to just look up SCCW Wrestling on YouTube. You can look up Spa City Championship Wrestling. I'm not sure if it would help your search engine or your search or not. SCCW Fusion page is another one. If you look up SCCW Fusion, one of the first videos I believe you'll see is either One Night in Hell or Scars and Stripes, and you can just click on one of those videos and go to the page from there. Um, that's the easiest way I could say to do that. Because I don't. Look, man, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know all the names to the pages. I should have came better prepared for the end of this, but I did not. That's how I do it on everybody's phone. I just look it up through the search bar. You know what I mean? So whenever I'm showing it off in town or at relatives or anything like that, but hey, let me see your phone. I'll show you some of my wrestling stuff and SCCW wrestling, and it's usually just right there. Same logo that you get on the Facebook page. That should be SCCW official as far as Facebook though.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll definitely check it out. And I encourage anybody who listens to this right now and listens to it later to go ahead and check it out as well. I think my final question for you, Adam, is where do you want to go? You know, what's the next big step for Adam Gregory?
You know, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about that, man. I've really been itching to get back in the ring, but man, at the same time, and I want to get my championship back, but at the same time, man, it's kind of taking the wind out of my sails. Losing the title. Um, I've been thinking a lot about what's going to happen, whether it's over the next couple of weeks or whatever it is that we find out our next show or whatever. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I've been weighing my options and stuff like that. You know, because I just lost the title. I've been wrestling nonstop. Got a ton of matches for the past 3 years that we've been SCCW, and I haven't vacationed. I haven't done anything, and I've called myself wrestling royalty in a couple different promos that I've done, and you know, I've looked into my family's history, and I do actually have some royalty in my DNA, in my blood. You know, from I don't remember where, Scotland, I think, or something, maybe England somewhere. I'm not sure, but there is actual royalty in our genealogy. So I've been thinking about possibly. I don't know exactly if I'm going to or when I'm going to, but everyone will know if I decide to. You know me, I'll make it big. But I was thinking about going to maybe a vacation or something and traveling the world, going to these different locations that my family, where the royalty of my family used to rule or where they lived or whatever, and just picking up on my family's history. That way, when I come back, uh, I'll actually have more knowledge on royalty, on my family's royalty, and there'll be some actual weight to calling myself wrestling royalty because I'll be royalty, and I already know I'm the best in the ring. I mean, there's no one that can dispute that with me. I don't care how many times I lose or win or whatever. I get back up every time and I keep going. Um, I'm the best that there is, simply the best, no better than me. So when I say wrestling royalty here recently, that's kind of been the thought behind it. But if I go away and I'm able to take this little bit of time away and uh, do some research on my family's history, I'll come back with a lot more knowledge about the royalty that actually runs through my blood, and there will be a lot more weight to calling myself wrestling royalty. So I've been thinking about that a lot. As much as I want to get back in the ring, I kind of think I may need to take a little bit of time away to just regroup, gather my thoughts, and like I said, just do some research on my family's history. Um, that's what I've been thinking about. Apart from just getting back in the ring with Jeremy Lewis and trying to get that championship back.
Well, we definitely hope to get it back. And like I said, I understand the pain of who have lost gold and knowing that it does belong to you and it's with somebody else currently. I fully understand that pain. So I definitely hope you get that back. We will definitely be, you know, playing the waiting game and seeing when the next SCCW event happens. That way we can watch that. And
Yeah, I'll try to. I could try to send it to you at some point because I think I got your contact on Facebook. So maybe I can send it to you or something. If whenever I find out for sure the date, and you can let the audience know then ahead of time. Hey, this is going to be online or whatever. If it's something that you're into doing at any point.
yeah, absolutely, that's definitely a problem.
Right
But
on,
all
man.
right, Adam, like I said, you are definitely more than welcome to come back anytime. And if you don't have anything further to go ahead and say in closing,
Um, I've been hearing, or I've actually saw the video, the update. I just want to say something real quick. I saw the update video from the SCCW from my company that I'm in. I saw the SCCW news update video recently, and there's this partnership I heard on this podcast a little while back. Frank Blankenship. I've met the guy, talked to him a couple of times on Facebook, but Frank Blankenship, who runs the USBWA, man, I found out through that news update that we're actually, as a company, partnered up with them. I don't know if this is another leak or a spoiler or anything like that, but obviously you can see it on the video, so I don't know how it would be. I don't know. Anyway, now that we're in a business relation of some kind with the USBWA, which is very hopeful. I'm very optimistic about that, the possibility, and I don't know if it had anything to do with these new guys coming in or not, but um, man, I'm very optimistic on it. I'm very hopeful to see what comes of this USBWA, and uh, I'm hoping that it does really good things. Just talking from an in ring standpoint, the chance to be able to go against all kinds of other people that normally wouldn't have a chance to go against is something that is very, very unique. It's very, very cool, and it's really uh, it's something that no normal person would if they had the dream to do this, would pass the opportunity up on. It's something that you would be watering, salivating at the mouth for. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
and I'm really optimistic about it, as I am about a lot of things. But I've also got that other side of me that's saying, man, these guys do. If these guys, what if these guys don't come in here and the whole thing falls apart? You know what I'm saying? That little voice is that voice of anxiety and depression I was talking about earlier, and it's not good to uh, walk around that. So in this instance, the way I'm going to have to deal with this is say, why would that actually happen, and what's giving you the intonation that it wouldn't happen? What is the thoughts that's making you say, hey, it's not going to happen, and why does that make sense? Just rationalize everything out if it's a negative thought and talk through it. Ask a lot of questions about that one thought, and usually you'll come out being like, "Nah, that didn't make as much sense as I thought it did," and you'll talk yourself down off of that mountaintop into a molehill. So, um, and anyways, I'm sorry I rambled on again.
Oh no, no,
Um, yeah, no, the chance to be able to wrestle with all these other guys and to meet people from all over that's had different training that can show you different things that they know, the chance to meet new people, have new faces, and make new teams, new units, new stables, factions, whatever. It's a really cool thing. And maybe even having an actual tag division, which is something that personally I've always wanted to see throughout the years in the company. We've never had one, never, not in the 15 years that the SCCW has been a thing. We haven't had a single tag division. It's only been singles divisions, so the opportunity to have a tag division and possibly win a tag team championship with someone, man, that is just mind blowing to me. So I guess ended on for me, uh, Frank, man, I hope you know what you're doing. Coming from former world champion Adam Gregory, I hope you know what you're doing with this. And upper management, I hope you know who the hell you're going to be picking for that general manager position. I don't have any clue as to who it could be, but I hope it's a good choice. I hope it's not somebody that's soft or weak, you know. But Frank, SCCW upper management guys, y'all get y'all shit together and make something good out of this for all of us guys in the back. We're really, really looking forward to it and don't need to be let down like we have before. Just get your shit together and make it work. That's the message that I have for the end of the show, I suppose. And this is going to be a really good podcast as far as views, and that's something I guarantee you with 5-star certainty from me, Adam Gregory.
All right. Well, we heard it there, and that almost at the very end there, I mean, it almost sounded like a little bit of a call out. I'm not gonna lie. So that's fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait to see what brews from that. But no, yeah, if there's nothing else, like I said, you're welcome on the show anytime. It was great sitting here talking with you, listening to your story. So I guess without further ado, this has been the Johnny Pompous Show. Everybody have a great night.